friends and family, to Sherry's Kitchen. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Sherry. Some call me Nana and some call me Mama D. So you are all welcome because there's always room for more in my kitchen. Just finished our condiment series, and now we're going to be starting our second series, which is called Traditional Cooking in a Modern Kitchen Using the Instant Pot. Now, many of you may have Instant Pots. A lot of you may have them still sitting in a box. And some of them you may have out, but you haven't used them that much. So today I'm going to introduce you to the Instant Pot. I know of just three main types, and they're called the Luxe, the Duo, and the Pro. The Luxe model does not have a yogurt button. The Duo and the Pro do. But we're going to get to that in a minute. So there are the three different types and many different sizes. So we're going to look at the different sizes of those different Instant Pots so you will know what to choose. The Instant Pot is a multifunctional electric pot. It has many functions on it. And so we are going to look at the different functions. But now the Instant Pot is for pressure cooking. Now if you're interested in purchasing a electric pressure canner, they do have a model called the Instant Pot Max, okay? So that would be the one you'd get if you were going to be doing canning in your Instant Pot. I'd like to introduce to you my Instant Pots. I have three. This is the Instant Pot 8-quart, the Instant Pot 6-quart, and the Instant Pot 3-quart. Now why do I have three sizes? Well, let's start with the big one. This was my first purchase, the 8-quart. I thought, why go little and just go big? But it was really too big for me, so I ended up using it when I make large quantities to either freeze or can, or when I'm going to bring a dish to potluck or something like that, okay? So that's what I use it for mostly. But I also know that this is a good one when we get to the part in the series where you have to do a pot in pot. It's a good size for that. Then I have the 6-quart, which I find is more adapted to my needs. I could make the meals in it and put them in the refrigerator for the week, or freeze some and can some, or either share it with other people. Okay, so that's where I use the Instant Pot 6-quart. Now the 3-quart I purchased because I wanted it for traveling. When I travel, I usually bring all my own food and I need to warm it. But I also notice it's the perfect size for the double recipe of yogurt. I do soy yogurt and other yogurts in my 3-quart. Now they also have another model, a 10-quart. That's extremely too big for me. But for those who have large families, a 10-quart might be what you need for your family size. So base it on that. You don't have to have all three or four. You can just maybe have one. Maybe you want the 6-quart. I usually recommend the 6-quart to most people. But if you want to begin to do a lot of casseroles and things like that, it works well with the 8-quart. Okay? So let's talk about them a little bit more. Let's go over the parts to the Instant Pot. You have the lid, you have the inner pot, and you have the base. This you always need to have when you are cooking. You cannot put the food directly in the base. Many people have done it and ruined their Instant Pots. On this lid, which also a feature that most people don't know about, you see these little handles? They go here when you want to look at something in your pot and you don't want to put your lid down anywhere. So you have a little thing here to hold it. On the top here, you have a floating valve. This little thing will pop up when enough pressure has been accumulated in the pot. Once that comes up, the front of it will give you a countdown to how many minutes that are to go for that recipe. Then you have this particular valve here. It's for venting and for sealing. When you're pressure cooking, you want to put it on sealing. When you're using it without pressure, it just goes on venting. Okay? So those are the three main parts to your pressure cooker. Now, also there are buttons, and let's look at that. one of the confusing things on an Instant Pot is all the many buttons that are on there. Some of them have, well, all of them have what we call pre-programmed buttons. So if you're doing a soup, you press soup. If you're doing meat, you do, or in a stew, you press that one. But I basically don't use those. I will use whatever the recipe says. Instant Pot has their own cookbook out, but they also come with cookbooks with each particular pot so that you can follow along with it. Okay? So you have soup, meat stew, bean and chili, and poultry. Then you have rice, multigrain, porridge, and you have a steam button. Now, the steam button I just recently started using a lot lately because there is a basket that can go inside. You put your vegetables in and you set it for steam. And you don't have to, it's not pressuring, it's just steaming your vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower and things like that. So that's when I use that particular button. Now, most people use their Instant Pots for pressure canning, and that's what makes it fast cooking. And so you also have, on a lot of the models, some of them have a pressure button and some of them have a manual. Your books, your instructional books that come with it should tell you more basically, because like I said, a lot of these pots, the buttons are rearranged in different spots. And some of them may have pressure, some of them may say manual, okay? So if I was gonna pressure with this pot, I would use the manual button, all right? Then you have also a slow cooking feature. Let's just say you wanted to make some millet porridge and you wanted to have it ready in the morning when you woke up for breakfast. So you would use that particular model, slow cook, or many other things that you normally use your slow cooker for. That's what you use that button for. Now, some recipes, this is a saute. Some recipes, before you actually cook them or pressurize them, they recommend that you saute the vegetables. That's to bring out the flavors in those particular vegetables before you add the rest of the ingredients. And so that would be this button to saute, and then you would cancel it over here, and then you would also go back to whatever you're doing. And if it's pressure, you actually put in the minutes plus or minus, okay? So you need to basically make sure you read the manual for your particular model because there are a lot of different models out there, okay? Now, all of my models have the yogurt button because I do enjoy making my own yogurt. And so that button is here. And the yogurt button is only found on the Duo and the Pro, okay? So here you have my yogurt button on the 8-quart, and you have the yogurt button on the 6-quart, and you have the yogurt button on the 3-quart. And that's an important feature to me because that's something I do a lot of, is make my own yogurt. So if there are any questions or things that I did not comment on, just write those questions in the comments section of the video. And that'll be part of our question and answering time, okay? Or if it's something you need right away, I can just post the answer to your question right there, okay? So we're gonna carry on, but for now, this is where we're gonna go with the buttons. So hang in there. All right, folks. The Instant Pot can be very confusing to a lot of people because of all of its multi-functions. But just remember, in every box that you order or when you order one, you get a recipe book and you also get an instructional book. So if you need to refer back to something, you can always use one of those books. Today, I'm mostly focusing on the different parts, but as we go into the further videos, I'm going to show you how to use those particular accessories. So with the Instant Pot, everything that I'm showing you does not come with it, but you could still purchase them from Amazon or in your Walmarts and things like that, okay? But just beware, there are people that sell you a large amount of different accessories that you may never use. So I say, only purchase those ones that you're going to use. And you'll know as we go along which ones you will need and which ones you won't, okay? So we're gonna start off with a few things. Now, I didn't mention before, one of the things you wanna have with your pot lid is an extra silicone rubber gasket to help keep the pressure in. You wanna always have an extra one in case the other one gets worn or torn and it's no longer able to keep up pressure and you don't have to stop your meal. You can just stop it and put another gasket in. But it takes a long time to wear these things out unless you damaged it by putting it on heat or melting it or something like that, or tore it some kind of way. Okay, but that's one of the things you want to keep to have extra on hand. Okay? Now, when you're using a pressure pot, pressure cannot accumulate unless there's water. So all the instructions will tell you when you're using a food in here or a pot in here that you need to have water. And usually it's 1 to 2 cups of water on the very base bottom. Now this particular rack here comes, everyone gets a rack like this, or just a single rack without the handles to go inside the pot, okay? And so this will go down, and you see the feet on the bottom here. That allows for the water to come up to this level here in order to create the pressure. And so this is going to go in, and then your food, like if you're going to do potatoes, and we're going to do that our next video. I'm going to show you how to do some of the simple foods that we do in the Instant Pot, but we're going to start off with simple things. Okay, so we'll come right back and we'll go through the rest of these accessories. With so many accessories, I'm hoping you don't get too concerned, because I'm going to be going over these as we need them, okay? So this is just an introductory. This particular gadget here, where it would be considered pot in pot, that's what they call it. So whenever you see a recipe say pot in pot, it means you're taking a pot and you're putting it down into that pot. But remember, the bottom of this cannot touch the bottom of this, the inner pot. It needs water. And so that's why I'm using this particular item here. And then I could put the bowl on there, lift it up, and put it into the pot. And I would add my water. And this could be used for things like scalloped potatoes or your plant-based cheese and mac. Okay? So this is good for that. All right? Now, if you want to do something like lasagna or taco soup, not taco soup, but the taco casserole, okay, you would do it in something like this, okay? And so this is a particular type of pot which can go into this pot, and you would use something like these type of handles to hold on to it, put it down in, but before you do that, you always have to have your rack first, because remember, pressure will not come on without water on the bottom, and this separates you from, this keeps the water on the bottom and the pot on top of that, okay? So that would go in here, and that's for anything that you make that would show that you would need this for. Now, I have done this for the taco pie, I'm sorry, that's what it was, the taco pie and the lasagna. And there's other things that can be done too. So that's when you would use these particular type of pots, okay? Now, another one that is my favorite is for steaming. I have a steaming basket here, which can fit also in my 3-quart and 6-quart, and this 8-quart. And again, it has legs on it so that you have water on the bottom, and you stick your food down, and you would hit the steam basket button, okay? So, again, there may be other things that I will show you when we go through these series as needed, okay? So, if you have any questions or comments about this, please refer or put them at the bottom comment so I can help you out, okay? Now also, I forgot to mention on the pot that there's a little thing here that collects the steam. And so it comes off, and if it fills with water or steam, you can empty it, okay? Any overflow or any excess steam, it'll come off into this little cup here, okay? All right, I'll be back with you in a minute. So our next video in our series is going to be on how to cook simple foods in your Instant Pot. So if we start off light and then graduate to things that are a little bit harder, I'm hoping you can follow along and feel comfortable with your Instant Pot, because it is a good piece of equipment if you have one, and if you can learn how to use it successfully, you'll really appreciate the differences and the different things that it can do for you, especially if you're a busy person and you don't have the time. It's just set it and forget it. I want to thank you for coming into my kitchen, and I want to invite you to share the video, and also hit the like button and the notification button so that you'll be in touch with all the other Instant Pot videos that I will be showing you. Alrighty? So, see you in my next video. Bye-bye.